Hey, family, welcome back to 2SkeGEEKS. It's your boy, Will Call. My man, John Michael, can't be with us today, but we're a little behind, and we apologize for not being with you last week, putting out a show last week, and let you know today is the 15th of October. And so, again, we're a little behind on the show. So in order to expedite and make things happen to make up for last week with a little bit of things sprinkled in from last week, and some new stuff from this week. We got a pretty nice size agenda for you. So let's roll on through, starting with the book review. Book reviews, as you guys know, one of my favorite reads right now is Superman Space Age, of which I truly love this book by Mark Russell and Mike Allred and Louise Allred, who are the artists, the Allred family. Tremendously Space Age #1 was fantastic, but this book here, I love #1, but this is even better. Family, please read this book. This is just incredible storytelling, and it ties into the DC Dark Crisis storyline that has been going on for a while. I think Dark Crisis #5 just came out, and with the Pariah trying to destroy the DC universe, and the heroes of the Justice League, Justice Society, Teen Titans, Young Justice. I mean, they've got the whole kit and caboodle of heroes out there trying to save the DC universe from Pariah. And of course, with Crisis, you have it was tied into the Infinite Planets when DC destroyed destroyed all the multiple Earths back in the 80s with George Perez and Marv Wolfman. Well, now, of course, the planets of all the infinite planets have come back, but Pariah is working ways to destroy them again. And so this is a Saving the Planets Crisis story, and this is a tie-in, a side story that ties into the Pariah. And of course, you have with the storylines, of course, with DC, with Crisis. The problem with Crisis in the DC planets was the fact that you had the timelines of superheroes from the 40s that came about, that was still about in the DC 60s heroes, in the 70s, and then you had the 80s. And so they were trying to figure out ways, DC was trying to figure out ways to make those stories and heroes all work together. So that's why you had the first Crisis, because the timeline of all those different heroes and the aging of them. And so now we're still playing with the same heroes. Time not necessarily being the crisis, but it is a factor because you still have heroes from World War II involved in this story. And of course, this Space Age is from the 60s and 70s in DC's timeline. And so it all plays in time, infinite planets, multiversal planets. Yeah, it's cosmically fantastic. That's all I got to say. Just do yourself a favor and read this one and DC's Dark Crisis. All right, enough time on that. Going to Action Comics. And again, but now I talked about Superman World, and Philip Kennedy Johnson, another great writer that DC's gotten. This is one of the first books when they were introducing Philip Kennedy Johnson. This is from about a year and a half ago. So this was Future State Superman House of L #1. This is one of the first books of that Philip Kennedy Johnson wrote, and going into the Superman storyline that in Action Comics with World and Mongol, and that just finished up about 2 months ago. And so this is one of the first books, introduction books of Philip Kennedy Johnson. And as we've already discussed a few shows ago, probably like 3 or 4 shows ago, just go back and do yourselves a favor and look at the list of shows with Superman World. You see it on the icon for the thumbnail, and you'll see it for Superman there. But this is another book that Philip Kennedy Johnson wrote in the early storyline of Superman World. But this is where he's teaming up with the Authority and that early timeline. So this is 1036 in the timeline. The previous, I don't have that previous. I had another Action Comics book around here, but I think Philip Kennedy Johnson started writing on issue 1030. And so this is 1036 in the timeline and stories of issues. Okay, other great reads, and I know I'm DC heavy. Marvel, please forgive me, and fans of Marvel, please forgive me. And I'll do some Marvel books on the next show and review those. But sticking with DC, Batman, this is 128. And Chip Zdarsky is the writer on it, killing it ever since he took over in issue 125. This is, oh man, what's the name of this doggone character? Man, it's Failsafe. Failsafe is the character on the cover. Please forgive my brain fart just now, but Failsafe is the main character, and it is it's like it's a shoot back into Justice League when Grant Morrison wrote it, called the Tower of Babel story. When it was JLA, when Grant Morrison wrote it, Tower of Babel, when Batman had a plan for every contingency if all the other Justice League members went bad. Well, this was his contingency if he went rogue. And the fail-safe character is what was written if Batman goes rogue. And if you can imagine, when if all the other Justice League members were killed back in, almost killed by Batman and his contingency plan back in the early 2000s, I believe that storyline began, early 2000s. You can imagine what he wrote, what he created for himself if he goes bad. So just good. Just go ahead and read Batman 125 through 128. You can't miss. And there's a backup story in the book as well. He does like two stories in each book. You just can't lose. And the stories are related to the main story going on in the front half of the book. So you will not lose your money in investing in that. I Am Batman is another future state book of Batman. This is written by John Ridley. And I have some other John Ridley books that we'll talk about in the show. But John Ridley is smashing this story of I Am Batman. This is issue number 3. And just this is if Bruce Wayne lost his money and the Fox family took over Wayne Enterprises, and also the duties of being Batman. So you will definitely enjoy this. John Ridley is doing an incredible job on the writing. The art is beautiful in here, and invest. Okay, last book review book is Icon and Rocket. This is number 4 in the Milestone Return series of Icon and Rocket. It is written by Reginald Hudlin, and there are other books in this show today that I'll talk about by Reginald Hudlin. But this is so good. Reggie is, all the books that I've read, I'm recommending to pick up and read. Reginald Hudlin does an incredible job with and bringing back the old Icon and Rocket or Icon books with Rocket. This time he calls it Icon and Rocket, and Chris Cross is the artist on a lot of the internal work in this. Not particularly in this book, but Chris Cross has done some of the work in there as well. But the artist in this one is Leon Chills and Doug Braithwaite. And Braithwaite has been in some of the other books as well. But please pick up and read Reginald Hudlin. And if you don't remember Reginald Hudlin from TV and movies, well, he was in a few movies and wrote a few with Eddie Murphy. One in particular was called Boomerang. So Reggie Hudlin has been around for a long time. If you enjoy Boomerang that he co-wrote with Eddie Murphy, then you will definitely enjoy his serious work that he's done. And as I said, I will talk about some other books that Reggie Hudlin wrote in the mid 2000s as well coming up, because the treat of this show is the fact that it's movie heavy for the movies that are coming out next week and in November. That'll give you a hint. So that's your only clue that I give. The next portion of the show is called Cover Love or Cover Loves. And so since I am a fan of Dr. Doom, this is All Out Avengers number 2. It just came out this week. That's why it's not bagged and boarded. So I have to be a little very careful with it. But this is All Out Avengers number 2. And I just had to have it because Doom is on the cover. And I look forward to reading this All Out Avengers story. I have not read them yet, but I'm going to enjoy them when I do. So like I said, I'm going to do a Marvel show, and All Out Avengers will be one of those books that I read and review for you guys on the next show. Next one is Deadly Class, and this was or is a Rick Remender book number 47, and Jeff DeCal, as you've heard me talk about Jeff many times and how he plays with whites. I'm sorry, with whites and solid cover and solid colors. This is just Jeff in all his glory. I haven't read the book, probably will not. I bought this because it was a Jeff DeCal cover. And if you haven't done it, and that's DEKAL, Jeff DeCal. Jeff, his work is blowing up in value, and it's always beautiful. So check his stuff out online, Google him up, and see what it's all about. I'm just showing this because of the cover. I love this Archangel cover on this latest book that came out on X-Men #1. This, of course, X-Men has, I don't know how many volumes to it now. I don't know how many times they've restarted X-Men, but I love this Archangel cover. It is just glorious. And let's see, who is that reflect? Oh, that looks like Apocalypse being reflected in his wings. Yeah. So I love that cover. Great looking cover. Another cover love that I have is a book that I haven't read yet and may or may not read, but this Titans United with Beast Boy, with Garfield. Just the transformation of Garfield from whatever he was as a gorilla at the top to, are there other animals? Yeah, he even goes from a gorilla to even a wolf and then to himself. Man, I love this cover. That's why it ended up being cover love, just because that's just amazing. And I don't know who the artist is on this, but this is Titans United #3. Just a glorious cover. Okay, moving fast, quickly, trying to anyway. This Red Sonja, I'm not even sure what the issue is. I'll put it in the show review and in the subtitles what number this is, but this is a Souza Maika cover for Red Sonja. It's a 1/15 variant, Virgin variant that I had to have. And as you can tell, Souza Maika just blows it up as always. There's never a bad cover for that Red Sonja cover. And then we have another one with Red Sonja and Vampirella. And this is a 1/35 by Arthur Sweetum. And you can see his name at the bottom, how you spell it, Suydam. Arthur Sweetum is the artist on this one. And it's, as Arthur is usually known for, his zombie covers. And this is a zombified Vampirella and Red Sonja going at it. And just glorious as always. Sweetum is incredible. Coming to the end of cover love, got a few more books, a few. The latest Venom by Dave Raposa. It's self-explanatory why I picked it for cover love. Venom #11 just came out this past Wednesday. Then we've got on this Superman Son of Kal-El. This is number 16. I believe this might be the finale of the Superman Son of Kal-El. And I love this cover here. And I don't know what the initials AC, who that person is, and I'll put that in the comments as well, in the subtitles for you to see who the artist is. But I just love it as one of the finale covers on Superman Son of Kal-El. This is issue number 16. Two more books. This latest Wolverine, number 25 by Lucio Perillo. And again, these things just speak for themselves why they end up on the cover love section of this show, because Lucio is just killing it. I have to see who the character is. I'll put the character who is with Wolverine. I'll crack it open and let you guys know who the main character is on the front fighting Wolverine. But it just explains itself. And Lucio paints so beautifully. You never miss with Lucio. And his main work when he was first debuted probably about 15 years ago was on the Vampirella covers. Vampirella Strikes, I believe. Vampirella Strikes on Dynamite Comics. Those books are kind of pricey. You'll probably pay at least $20 to $25 for each of those books. They came out about 15 years ago from Dynamite Comics. Those Vampirella's Vengeance. correction. Vampirella's Vengeance. That's it is. That's or Vengeance of Vampirella. That's what it is. Yeah, yep. Think about Vengeance and Vampirella. That's what you'll find with the Lucio Perillo covers. Okay, transitioning quickly now into at the end of Cover Love, but then getting ready to go into the portion of the main reason for this show, for today's show, is talking about the movies coming out shortly. Black Panther and Black Adam. Black Adam coming out next week, and then Black Panther comes out, I believe, the first weekend of November. But so we're talking about one Cover Love that I have. The last cover would be the Ta-Nehisi Coates variant of Black Panther #1. This one came out about 3 years ago, and this is a Shuri cover that I just love, and I pulled it from the Black Panther pile, just because I love it that much. So yeah, just had to put it out there because it goes in the Cover Love. Even though I will show you some more Black Panther books later, after I cover my man Black Adam right now and Dwayne Johnson. This book is a Black Adam special edition. It just came out this week, and so Dwayne is on the cover as Black Adam, and this is exquisite. And even on the back, they're advertising for it. It's October 21st, as you see on the cover, that the movie premieres next week. And I am excited. I already got my tickets. I got my tickets 2 weeks ago for Black Adam as well as Black Panther. And so moving forward with Black Adam books, this is not one, but this is where a Shazam book from the 80s where Black Adam is fighting Shazam. This is number 2 out of a four-part miniseries. And so I'm just, I was excited to find this like in a dollar bin back in the day. And I'm glad to have it in my collection as Black Adam fights Shazam. And so another book that is somewhat valuable or creeping up in value is a book by Boss Logic is the artist. This is Black Adam Endless Winter Special #1 by Boss Logic. And it's all one word. You can look up his work. And he's the artist, not the writer. He's the artist on this cover of Black Adam Endless Winter #1. And as you can tell from behind me on the shelf here, got this at Target. You can find this. No, I got this at Walmart, actually. Got it at Walmart. This is a action figure, little $9 thing for Endless Winter with a figure. They call them page punchers with Black Adam, who's like a little tiny. You can tell even with my fingers, it's not big. A small figure of Black Adam, as you can get for like $9 at Walmart if you can find them. Good luck. Okay. And then moving forward with Black Adam books, and you guys saw this is from the latest series of Black Adam, #2, with one of the newer characters that's in Black Adam. I love that cover there. And then we've got Black Adam #3. It's reminiscent of what we'll see probably in the movie. Just glorious artwork. And then we've got another Black Adam tribute cover, but this is not a Black Adam book. This is Multiversity Teen Justice #5. But in prepping for and advertising and publicizing the Black Adam movie coming out, just a fantastic cover with Black Adam and the fighting Hawkman. And we all know we've seen in the trailer where Black Adam is fighting Hawkman in the movie. So yeah, just had to have that one. And wrapping up Black Adam covers, this is Wonder Woman #792. And another Black Adam cover with the Justice Society. You got Atom Smasher in the back with the big head as a giant. Then you got Dr. Fate, Cyclone, and then Hawkman. And yeah, Brian Whitaker, Hawkman, is the character there. So I am really, really excited about spending time with my family next weekend and take us all to see Black Adam. Now we're going to move forward into Black Panther and / Wakanda Forever that comes out in November. But for Black Panther, the priest version or volume 2 of Black Panther that Priest wrote, Christopher Priest. This was from the early 2000s. A lot of things in Black Panther that we have seen recently come from this storyline that he wrote. I can't remember how many issues he wrote, probably at least 50 issues. Phenomenally done. Many characters, again, that we are familiar with in the in the Black Panther series came from Christopher Priest. The Dora Milaje, no, did he do the Dora Milaje? Yeah, the Dora Milaje as well, yeah. And Shuri were introduced by, no, that's not right. No, that's not right. But the agent, I can't think of the agent's name. He was definitely introduced, and I believe the Dora Milaje were as well. But you guys can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Please forgive me. My timeline and a 54-year-old brain might be tripping out. Anyway, so this is a variant on that Black Panther #1 by Joe Quesada. It has a certificate of authenticity. This was the Defiant Forces, holding it upside down. There we go. Dynamic Forces, I'm sorry, correct. Dynamic Forces cover certificate by saying that it was a Joe Quesada cover. And yeah, Dynamic Forces exclusive alternate cover that was put out by Dynamic Forces for Black Panther #1, done by Christopher Priest way back in the early 2000s. Then we've got for the latest, let's keep going. From the latest version of Black Panther in the latest volume, that John Ridley, as I mentioned before, he's writing I Am Batman. He's also writing the newest volume of Black Panther as well. This is number 10. And this is an introduction of a new character, the Buffalo Soldier. Alex Ross is the painter and artist on this cover. And again, John Ridley is the writer, and the internal artwork is being done by Germán Peralta. Germán Peralta, like a pearl, Peralta. Anyway, so yeah, loving that cover by Alex Ross, and I can't wait to read that one as well. And then going back to Reginald Hudlin, Reggie Hudlin wrote in the mid late 2000s. He took over the reins on Black Panther after Christopher Priest left the reins. And so again, so I wanted to correct myself about the Shuri piece, because he's the one who introduced Shuri, and this is when Shuri becomes the Black Panther, when T'Challa is not on the throne. And very much we will see she will probably have a large role in this movie coming out. And so this is one of those first covers of Shuri, and this is Black Panther #1 with Shuri on the cover. This is a regular cover here that I'm showing. And then I have a variant cover that Shuri is on. And so it's just a little slightly different. They're not the same. All right. And so, yeah, those are those covers. And then I have one more Shuri book that I want to show. And this is from her own series. This is number 5 out of that. No, number 8. I'm sorry, correction, number 8 for her own solo series by Okorafor. And I can't think of the sister's first name. Okorafor is her last name. And I have not read these yet. Shame on me. But I'm going to put they're in so many different boxes. They all spread out. So I got to conglomerate them, consolidate them, and then do a read session. And I hope I can get to that before I watch the movie. So please forgive me. And again, that should be probably for another show. If I got to force myself to discipline and to go and find those books and consolidate to put them all together for a good read. Okay. Finishing up with Black Panther and trying to move through and get this show done as quickly as possible. So Marvel just put out this week Wakanda in preparation for Wakanda Forever. So this is Wakanda #1. Shuri's on the cover. There are several covers for this #1 issue. That's one with Shuri. Here's another variant of Wakanda #1. With Shuri, this is the Duel. It's like a video game, a video game for Marvel called Duel. And so this is how she looks in the video game. Pretty doggone intense. And I love this cover because they do a fantastic job with graphically depicting Shuri in the game. Uh, this is by Stanley Art Germ Lau. Stanley Art Germ Lau with Killmonger on the cover. Speaks for itself. I gotta try to find another cover or two of this one. Uh, just Art Germ kills it. Just smashing it. Now I don't know why he calls himself Art Germ, but Stanley Art Germ Lau, Lau, is the name of the artist on that cover. And finally, wrapping up the Wakanda covers is this 1 for 25 variant of Wakanda #1, Black Panther, with Black Panther, blah, 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 with Black Panther on the cover. Forgive me, you guys, for being tongue-tied, and I'm trying to rush through to save your time. But this is a high ratio variant here for Wakanda #1. And then we're coming into the end of a few books that are still connected to Wakanda forever. And so this Namor the Submariner variant came out this week as well. As we know, Namor will be in the movie because, of course, there will be a battle between Wakanda and Atlantis, as is in that story that with the Shuri covers that I held up by Reggie Hudlin earlier. That was a fight between Wakanda and Atlantis. And so that's the new book that came out with Namor in it. And finally, one of the characters that will be in the movie as well, her movie debut is Riri Williams. And this is not her first appearance as Iron Man, she becomes Iron Heart later on. But this is Riri Williams's first as Iron Man. They're calling her because she falls in the Invincible Iron Man #1. So she actually was Iron Man for a little while, as you can see from the cover on the boots. This is the hip hop cover of Invincible Iron Man #1 with Riri being Iron Man. This is when Tony Stark disappeared, and she filled in for Tony Stark. And I love this hip hop cover. I think I have a few of these, and just beautiful. And then finally with Ironheart is where she becomes Ironheart, not just Iron Man, and she has her new armor by herself. And so what makes this remarkable in the story is the fact that in this figure behind me, this is probably what her armor in the movie will look like. I've had to find this on Target online. To get this figure because them jokers on eBay are charging like $70-$80 for this figure. I found it for 30 on Target. So don't let those suckers on eBay gouge you. Find this if you can, if there are any more available, because them jokers, they have more than doubled the price on this figure. But I love this right here. Riri as Ironheart, that the Wakandans have, helped her create this armor. I'm sure she and Shuri have done their thing on this, putting this Ironheart armor together. And I don't even want to crack open the box to even show you what's inside. I'm just going to show you what's on outside the book. I'm going to maintain the prestige of the box. Two more things I'm going to show. And I forgot to go back and show this figure here behind me. And I was talking about Black Adam. So this is the main villain or protagonist or antagonist in the movie, Sabbac. And so Sabbac is the demon. And I'm going to correct myself from a few shows ago when I was talking about Kingdom Come and possibly that Gog or Magog would be the villain because the horned head character that's in the trailer. But no, it's the demon Sabbac. That's part of the DC and Shazam storyline. And so Sabbac is a demon, and much like Shazam, when they have Shazam, meaning Solomon, Hercules, Atlas, Zeus, I can't think of the other part, and something and Mercury. Well, this is Sabbac, and his name was spelled out by Satan. I'm Aim or Aim or I'm Aym, Belial, Beelzebub, and then Asmodeus, and Kratos. And that's what Sabak spells out. And this is the figure that I found on Amazon. And this is what the character looks like pretty much outside the box, but I'm not taking it out the box. I'm going to maintain the prestige of the box and its pristine condition. And so, yeah, I found this on Amazon online and saved me some money from what I saw in a store where they were charging at least $10 more than what it was. And so saved me some money. And last two things I'll talk about, and we'll close the show. I know you guys are thankful, but before I do, I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. Please subscribe. I love you very much for tuning in. Things that we've seen on TV recently that are so good. Last weekend, sat down with my wife. We sat down and watched Werewolf by Night, the black and white DC getting ready to go into their monster characters. And so you had Bloodstone, Elsa Bloodstone, and then talking about her dad. His name, I can't think of the Bloodstone, but his name is Ulysses Bloodstone, and Man-Thing, and all kinds of different characters in there that they tell a great story. Sadly, when you watch it on Disney Plus, it's only one show. That's all you're going to get. It was a one show special. Fantastic. My wife and I, when we were tuning and sitting on the couch, thinking we're going to watch it again last night for episode number 2, to be disappointed because there is no episode 2. It's just a one-shot show. So when you can, in tribute to Halloween, sit down with your family. It's not so horrible where you can't watch it with your kids, but you'll enjoy Werewolf by Night. And so on that note, this is a facsimile of Werewolf by Night number 32. And this is the first appearance of Moon Knight with Jack Russell, the Werewolf by Night. And yeah, just a cool book. Now, the original of this in high condition will probably cost about $30,000. But this is a facsimile. It's in high condition, and it ain't nowhere near worth $30,000. But anyway, and this came out I think that came out a few months ago, that facsimile version of Werewolf by Night. And lastly, Rings of Power on Amazon with Fellowship of the Rings. Man, that show. Oh, incredible. Season finale. I watched it this morning. Yeah, plot twist galore. And of course, if you've read the books, it's not a plot twist. But for those who I didn't read the books. The only book that I read was The Hobbit out of the series by J.R.R. Tolkien. And I read that as a kid and loved it. Just didn't make the time to read the other books. And I will probably correct that at some other time soon. But please watch Rings of Power. Has a lot more oomph and attention getting. And I'm not trying to knock the next show I'm going to name, House of Dragons on HBO. It was just a little slow. Not saying it's horrible, but it's just slow. But this doggone Rings of Power, not slow enough. It slow when it needs to be, but not where it puts you to sleep. And God knows the excitement is incredible, and the dialogue. Oh my God, the dialogue is incredible. So pertinent to very deep meanings, esoteric meanings. And I love the language of how it's written, and the dialogue is just so good. So many heart-touching, deep sentiments that are expressed in the dialogue of the show. I think they must not have, they probably did not depart far from the dialogue that was written by J.R.R. Tolkien in the book, because there's just some deep, meaty pieces of dialogue that will move you and say more than they'll move you in ways that you did in profound ways. How about that? And so I'm going to get ready to wrap up the show. Please like and subscribe again. It is my pleasure to be with you. John Michael and I will probably try to do another show soon. And I know he said to me that he's going to try to do some shows by himself with showing some of his CBCS books that he got back. And so we look forward to sharing those with you. We are so blessed. So we're so blessed to have you with you. And we're so blessed to be able to share our hobby with you. Have a great 2SkeGEEKS day. Stay 2SkeGEEKed up, and we'll holler at you later. Howdy.